Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Josh.
Hello, Scott.
Josh, my friend, all sorts of things are releasing about Mass Effect HD Collection. This comes from VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb, written up by Video Gamer, who actually, it happened back on August 17th. He put his initial calendar out for all sorts of leaks that would happen across the next few months. And one of them that was on there was Batman and Suicide Squad, obviously came true across the DC fandom thing. And another one was scheduled for October, where he put the word remaster, spelling it with two S's, like remaster, which then one of the people in his comments said, oh, does this mean the Mass Effect HD remaster? Could it be an announcement, or is it going to be the release date itself? And he said, why not both?
Why not both?
Which sort of lines up with the other things that we reported. We did do an initial video on this 3 months ago when when EA did their quarter two earnings call, where they mentioned various exciting remasters of fan favorites would be coming up. But now we kind of have a release date, or at least if Jeff Grubb is correct, and he's been correct before with Nintendo Direct's PS5 information, etc. Are you ready for a Mass Effect remaster thing coming in October?
Of course I am, Scott. Like, the Mass Effect trilogy, even including Mass Effect 3, is one of my favourite trilogies and kind of worlds of all time. At the same time, though, like, the way, if this is announced and kind of dropped in October, that would be classic 2020, wouldn't it? Just nothing makes sense. All kind of release dates and all kind of announcements are just like...
Just there, isn't it?
Yeah, they're just there. They're just like paradoxes in and of themselves, and things just seem to be happening. So yeah, why not? Why not get to
no
October?
Price tag, just put it out.
Be right on like the precipice of these next-gen consoles, presumably, which we still don't know any price for, and then have a nice shiny Xbox and PlayStation remaster Mass Effect trilogy. I would play the crap out of that. I'm not going to lie, because I would love to revisit one, especially all done up.
Honestly, Mass Effect is one of my favourite franchises, but the one is the one that's aged the worst. So I'd be curious if they've done anything to that, because it's been far too long. Like, that's been one of the franchises that they could have put out for years at this point. Obviously, Andromeda was in 2017. That thing was on fire and put the whole IP on ice, in their words, for the foreseeable future. But if they wanted to win back fan fervour, they could have just put out the Mass Effect HD trilogy. So I kind of wonder whether either, one, they're waiting because they've added stuff to it. They've maybe... I would love it if they'd put Mass Effect 2 and 3's game engine back into 1, like just improve the combat and things like that. I doubt it. I think it will just be like a mod, like a texture overhaul kind of thing, like, a modified version of it. But the second scenario is just that they've been waiting for the new consoles, because then they can charge full price and be like, oh, it's technically a PS5 Series X game because it's backwards compatible.
And look, it's back. It's the thing you love. It's not this Andromeda business that you didn't really like. For me, man, like, I think so long into this. When was the last? When was Mass Effect 3? Like 2012? Did it come out then?
Oh god, yeah,
so it's
2012, yeah.
8 years since that trilogy wrapped up. If it's only kind of like a port, if it's only kind of a surface level remaster that kind of ups the textures and stuff, I would be disappointed, even though I want to play these games again. I think you can't get away with that really anymore. At the start of the generation, you could throw out like Prototype or Marvel Ultimate Alliance and just call it a day. But now, in like the era of Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Crash Insane Trilogy, all of those like great remakes, I feel like the expectations from the audience perspective has kind of been upped. And it's not necessarily fair to compare remasters to complete remakes, but at the same time, like, it was never really acceptable to just throw out Prototype 1 for like full price again. Like, that was such bad practice. So I do think they need to do something, even if it is a substantial kind of visual overhaul. But I think a great start would be by going back to Mass Effect 1 and implementing Mass Effect 2 and 3's combat system, or even Andromeda's combat system, into all of the games, and kind of make a more coherent jump from one game to the next. Because for as much as I love the kind of more hardcore leanings of Mass Effect 1, like, it doesn't play really great, and the explanation for why the combat is overhauled entirely by the second game is just kind of, it's not really there. So I do think they have space to kind of tweak. Hey, they've got space. They've got huge amounts of space to tweak what is already an excellent set of games and make them potentially even a bit better.
I do have a question for you though. Do you think they'll keep the back button as the grenade button? Because that remains the weirdest, stupidest, most illogical placement of a button allocation, possibly in gaming history, to be honest.
See, I agree with you, Scott, because it is madness that it's there. But at the same time, I do have a soft spot for it. I have a lot of nostalgia for hitting that back button. I'm pretty sure you could press it again to detonate it. I love the little disc, the little action they did.
The way you whipped it out. It's good.
That was good. Bring that
I would
back,
take something like that.
Yeah,
I think
just
if
map
they're
it to a
gonna,
different button.
Yeah, if they, if they're going to go back to the source code at all, then you would hope that they do something more substantial than just remap what the back button does. But at the same time, it's EA. That's another thing as well, is which development studio do they give this to? Like, does this still go back to Bioware, even though, because you would hope, if they've done it right, then you would hope that Casey Hudson's had some sort of overseer, role throughout the whole thing, to sort of say, well, we would touch that up if we had time, or the technology should improve the frame rate here, or whatever. Do you think this modern state of Bioware, or Bioware as they've been for the last few years, are capable of revisiting Mass Effect and doing it justice?
I think they're capable of it. I just don't know if they have the resources available to do it. Like the last we heard, I'm pretty sure, is it BioWare Montreal or Edmonton? I can't remember which one. Whichever one did Mass Effect Andromeda. I think they were getting rolled back into like the main BioWare team, and they don't currently have a project as far as I'm aware.
Right.
So I just don't know if they have the resources, because everyone kind of seems to be working on Anthem or a potential next game or Dragon Age 4. They have all these different plates spinning, and to me, if you take resources away and try to put them on this remaster, for as good as that would be in a vacuum to have BioWare back and tinkering with the thing they made, like, will that negatively impact Dragon Age? Will that impact whatever Anthem Year 2 is going to be? You know what I mean? Like, they've got so many projects that need to be hits. So to kind of move resources away at such a vital time in this developer's kind of history, I don't know if I'd dig it. Like, just get someone else, get someone used to remasters, someone who's a safe pair of hands.
I would hope that, like, considering Anthem just hasn't done anything and just sort of like kind of floundered a bit. It's like Magikarp. It's just sort of like floundering around. And I know that inherently implies that there's some great power at the heart of it that could be extracted if the right ingredients were put in. They never were. It just floundered around and never really got anywhere. And I know that game, they were like committed to the future of it and stuff, but it's not going to work, is it? I mean, if you just took the staff off Anthem and put them on Mass Effect, pretty much everybody would breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I mean, look, you are right, but at the same time, they've also said earlier this year that they were going to commit to Anthem, you know what I mean? And you can't commit to something and then not do it. Like, that game...
They're remaking it or something?
Yeah, like, they're doing a complete 2.0, essentially. I think there was even rumours at one point that it might be a full separate release, which would be utter madness. But it's funny that we haven't heard any news on that for a long time, and I forgot it existed until you just brought it up. So that's
it's
funny.
It's the current DC corporate move is just, you messed it up, just do it again. Just join the Suicide Squad, whatever, just try it again. Just figure Justice League, just do it again. Just forget. It doesn't matter that you got it wrong. It doesn't matter all the money that was wasted. Just try it again. So if that's the new corporate trend, is just sort of like, like Men in Black style, flash the repeater thingy and then do whatever you want to sort of pretend that that's the way the history actually went. Like, maybe they can turn it around in Anthem's case. But either way, it seems like Mass Effect, the HD trilogy, has been a long time coming, but hopefully it has got a substantial amount of work done to it, that it's not, like you said, another prototype. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. What sort of expectations do you have for an EA-published remaster trilogy? Even as I say that, I don't have much expectations myself. And for now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
I've been Josh from WhatCulture.com.
I'll catch you next time.
Bye.